Hi guys, in today's video we're gonna be talking about the difference between classic injection and Commonwealth injection. Um so classic injection was invented before Commonwealth injection. So Commonwealth injection is more recent than classic injection. So first of all, we're gonna talk about classic injection, how it's work and so forth. Okay? So, how does classic injection work actually? Um, these are some of the components of the fuel system. There are other components as well, but those are the main components of the fuel system. Okay, we have the fuel tank. Now, the fuel tank is the place where the fuel is stored at low pressure. Now, what do I need exactly? So, the fuel needs to go all the way until it reaches the injectors. Okay? But for that to happen, I need another important component, which is the fuel pump. Now, the fuel pump sucks the fuel from the fuel tank and it takes the fuel and carry it until it reaches the injectors. But before the fuel reaches the injectors, it needs to be filtered. Now the fuel is filtered by the filter. The fuel needs to be filtered because the fuel can have dust, dust particles, dirt, and so forth. Because if the fuel is not filtered, it could damage the injection pump. Okay? So after being filtered, the fuel goes inside the injection pump. Okay? Now, when the fuel gets here, okay, the injection pump is going to distribute that fuel to the injectors, but through the hoses that we have here. Those are high pressure hoses. Okay? So when the fuel get in the injection pump, inside the injection pump, the fuel go through the hoses before reaching the injectors. Now, there is something that you need to know. In the classic injection, we may have a computer. Now, what the computer actually does? Now, the computer, it takes care of the injectors, um, of the injectors to open at the right time. Okay, this is basically what the computer does, and this board. Now, um, the classic injection has advantage. Now, what's the advantage? The advantage is that the classic injection is reliable because it's some kind of simple. But the classic injection has disadvantage as well. Now, the disadvantage is that diesel is some kind of vibrant and it's so noisy. It's so noisy due to its rather simplistic combustion. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by rather? I said rather simplistic combustion. Combustion. What do I mean by that? Is that we send fuel to the engine at the third stroke of the engine. I mean, at the first stroke of the engine, we send fuel and the cylinder block, and that's it. Okay, now we're gonna jump right into the Commonwealth injection system. Okay, so um, the Commonwealth injection system, we have a Commonwealth that is located between an injection pump and the injectors. So the Commonwealth has a shape of a sphere in some cases, not in all cases. Okay, and then so what is exactly the Commonwealth? So the Commonwealth is a pressurized accumulator. What it does? What does it do exactly? Okay, the accumulator, it provides higher and uniform injection pressure across all the injectors. So this excess pressure allows um it allows better fuel distribution. That is to say, we have better air and fuel mixture. Okay. In addition, in the Commonwealth injection, the engine is much more quiet in comparison to classic injection. It's much more quiet because in the Commonwealth injection, we have pre-injection. Therefore, in the Commonwealth injection, the engine is quieter than this one over here. Okay? Um okay. You need to know that engineers notice that engine slam less when they actually allows pre-injection. I mean, when they actually allows pre-injection before the third stroke of the four-stroke engine. Therefore, they they came up with pre-injection because it helps the engine to be quieter than this one over here. Okay, and you need to know that the Commonwealth injection has some advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so what are the advantages and disadvantages? First of all, the advantages is that um, we have less pollutants. So the Commonwealth injections releases less pollutants, and then in the Commonwealth injection, the diagnostic is much easy. Yeah, it's much easier than this one. Okay, and then the time delay injection is reduced in the Commonwealth injection. And we have some disadvantages as well, which are the price of the maintenance is extremely high, and the diagnostic tools are so expensive, and the pieces, the components of the system is also expensive. That is to say that if you wanna buy a Commonwealth injection car, what you need to do at first, you need to make sure to know all the advantages and the disadvantages before you buy a Commonwealth injection car. So I think that's all, guy. So whether you wanna buy a classic injection or a Commonwealth injection. So it could be a good idea. It depends on what you're looking for. Okay. So as I say, that's all. And I hope you like the video, guys. And then see you next. Ciao.